Shalom, my name is Robert Koto, so welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be reading and annotating a book um, about the Torah, and it's titled the Jerusalem Talmud, and translation and commentary. Forgive me, my Hebrew is not good, so I'll roughly translate it. I'll just be reading a few pages. And the preface, just so you can get an understanding on what this book is about. So my background is that I was born Wesleyan Methodist and converted to Adventism and was educated in Adventist and now currently Adventist. Please forgive me, my biblical knowledge is not that sound, but this is for my personal growth, and I thought I will share my religious views with my YouTube viewers on social media and on YouTube. So happy Sabbath. Today is the 16th of the 10th, 2021. It is currently 12:38 a.m. and I'll be reading a whole book of this book, the Jerusalem Talmud, in sections and segmentations, and then hopefully it can enlighten you with the word, and may the Lord continue to be with you, and may our Heavenly Father speak words and truth into you, that we may love Him and know that He is the Anointed One, and that we believe in the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, also known as Jesus Christ. So for this book, the Jerusalem Talmud, I'll start with the preface and the segmentation, and over the coming Sabbaths I'll read the rest of the book. Apologies once again when I pronounce words in other languages, especially in Hebrew or Greek. If it may not be right, I hope it does not give offense, and that you may understand that I'm just a beginner, just learning, and I want to know the truth about our God, the God of Father Abraham and the God in the Bible. So let's begin with the preface. The multi-volume translation of the Talmud of the land of Israel, Jerusalem, combines translation with the commentary on the same 28 tractates of the Mishnah that are also treated in the later Talmud of Babylon, the Bavli, together with a translation of the remaining 11 tractates of Yerushalmi, not treated in the Bavli. All 39 tractates found in this work comprise a complete translation of Yerushalmi. This, of course, those tractates of the Mishnah not commented upon by Yerushalmi. General discussion of the commentary on 28 tractates. So let's see what tractates mean. So I'm not a theologian, so I'll just try and understand what tractates mean. Tractates meaning. So tractates must be another language. So apologies, I'm not a theologian, so I'm just learning. Hence the reason I decided to read this book. So where do we end? I'll start again from here. Both the translation and the commentary represents the Talmud of the land of Israel in a graphic manner, but the commentary more so as described below, so as to render the document accessible to ordinary academic inquiry into the rationality of the order of the document. My main purpose is to identify the completed units of discourse of the document, that is, the compositions, and to show how these are formed into larger groups or composites, to delineate the structure and the sequence of composites, showing the logic that governs their order, and to underscore the principles of rationality and the order that govern throughout. In this way, I show how the document works. how it holds together and makes sense. I demonstrate that the Yerushalmi forms not a random collection of this and that, but an orderly and purposive compilation showing rules of structure and setting forth a systematic logic. Specifically, the document reveals itself a form of commentary to the Mishnah and the amplification of the laws of the Mishnah, providing also chapter appendices to amplify topics deemed relevant to the Mishnah. The composites in the Yerushalmi that does not carry out these two purposes are few. The orderly traits in this document emerge first of all in the formal structures. The analytical translation that is now complete marked the first step in the identification of the structures in the visual commentary set forth here. Second, these attest to a congruent system that comes to express in that orderly manner. The goal of this commentary, therefore, is to set forth in a systematic and detailed manner the complete structure and governing system of the document's dictates that provide Gemara to the 28 Mishnah tractates treated in the Talmud of Babylonia. So I'll end with this, the purpose of commentary, which is just 2 pages, and then I'll end the segmentation of this video and post more during the Sabbath. So the purpose of the commentary, not a mere introduction of topical presentation of information. This commentary, the first one ever addressed to the Academy in particular, asks questions urgent here but not necessary elsewhere. When the Yerushalmi is studied under other native auspices, it is for the education of theoretical jurisprudence able to make informed and reliable decisions on complex problems of the law. Here we ask a different set of questions, resting on the distinctive corpus of premises. Specifically, an academic commentary makes possible the utilization of the document not only in bits and pieces, but in entirety. Here is the first Talmud enters public, academic, and discourse concerning the study of questions of general intelligibility. It is given a standard reference system, no longer appearing as long columns of the undifferentiated words. It is a coherent and complete units of discourse as identified, so that we may ask first how the document is first together, and then purpose of theory of primary and secondary discourse, converging entirely in the pertinent tractates. This academic commentary means to present the main points in a simple way, principally through graphics that convey the information just now identified. But the purpose of this is set forth the definition of future research should not be missed. And let's continue to the next paragraph. Accordingly to the commentary, everywhere pursues the same inquiry into the character of the document's composition and composites the new structure into what I maintain a highly disciplined and cogent formation and any given passage in the document questions of documentary composition on the one hand and intellectual context on the other are addressed. This is what at stake is access to the whole viewed in detail. If you do not know in detail how the document works, meaning its principles of formulation and composition on one hand, and its governing program and modes of thought on the other, that thorough labor of meditation may find useful examples for the pursuit of generalizations of weight and consequence. For its structure and system fully exposed, the document may make its contribution to the heritage of cases and instances of applied reason and practical logic and expressions of the profound sense of rationality and order, and that is what I conceive to be the task of academic commentary. Other commentaries are abundant and many excellent for the manifest purposes, but after many centuries of generally successful exegesis for the purpose of clarification of thought and determination of law from the time of its closure in the 5th century to our own day, the Talmud of the land of Israel is ready to make the move in the larger world of public discourse concerning issues of the social order that in time and place it frames framers, authors of its compositions, compilers of its compositions, propose to address. This presentation requires an account of the coherence of the document, consistency that is both formal and intellectual, that some do not be fully grasped. Such an account has specified the rules of composition, the laws, rhetoric, and principles of cogent discourse that govern throughout. The Rushami, which appears meandering and tedious, I want to know how someone who can purposefully made it so, what goal he did achieve, and what effect did he wish to create, whether aesthetic or intellectual, and laying matters in this way rather than in some other. How the whole holds together in one passage then requires explanation, questioning of structure, pertains to show the document and put together, is so framed as to convey its framer's message in consistent forms. The coherent formal program contains ample indication of the character and purpose of any given detailed analytical discussion. Questions of system concern the points of emphasis and current stress, the agenda that comes into expression of the whatever topic it's subject to analysis. The framers of the composers that compose the document pursue a uniform analytical program throughout. Here too there never was no doubt, so that we wish to discover or demonstrate. In the concluding chapter of each tractate, therefore, with the familiar procedure of an analytical outline of the whole tractate, this commentary aims at exposing in rich, complete, and accurate detail precisely how the compositors of the Rushami make connections and draw conclusions, by explaining the coherence of the whole through the identification of the parts of the systematic specification of what links one part to one another. I mean to show the tumult of the land of Israel for what is a document like the enduring works of intellect and a monotonous voice, that the same thing about many things. And the last chapter, the last paragraph. That is not how the Talmud of the land of Israel is up to now has been understood. The process of philological inquiry and the phrase-by-phrase exegesis conducted in other than academic settings, in yeshivas and Jewish seminaries, for example, in the setting of the Talmud of the land of Israel, serves as a source of information, opinion, and authoritative fact, but is rarely perceived as a cogent and systematic statement overall. Issues of detail overwhelm concern for a structure and order, and received intelligible tradition, essential in theological and political setting of faith, and useful also in the academic one, yields a massive detail, but no coherent formed in details. People practicing the grasp little of the broad intellectual context, setting forth bits and pieces while never gaining sight of the whole in recent times, more claiming there is no whole, only parts of the detached and resembled as one likes. The received exegetical and theological tradition addresses three questions of serious academic concern, but informs of the base of the next step in the centuries of labor of meditation. On the success of past labor, we build responding to questions it did not address. We move forward. So, I just basically read the purpose of the commentary and the preface for the Jerusalem Talmud, the translation and commentary on CD, edited by Jacob Neusner. So I'll be reading this over the Sabbaths, coming Sabbaths, and posting this on my YouTube channel, and possibly sharing on my social media. It's just something I want to learn, as I have the passion to learn Hebrew and the Jewish culture and learn about Israel, as they are the chosen people of God, and as I am only a Gentile. But I pray that we may seek the truth and that we may find the truth, and that everyone may have a good Sabbath for the 16th of the 10th, 2021. So this is just for personal vendetta, personal hobby or passion of mine that I'll be sharing with you on my YouTube channel and on other social media outlets. So thank you for listening. Shalom and Naka Wakalebo. Naka. Shalom.